Hello, this is John Tierney. I'm an archaeologist based in Ireland. I grew up in Cork City and now I live in West County Waterford. And this is a story about my two great grandparents, Bridget Stapleton and John Maher, who died within 3.5 weeks of one another in the summer of 1916. John Maher was in the Royal Irish Regiment when he died. His serial number was 7604 from Clonmore, Templemore, North County Tipperary. His registered date of death is the 14th of July 1916 and was aged 32. John Maher married Bridget Stapleton in Clonmore on the 15th of October 1904, and he was registered as a labourer at the time. They had 6 children: Catherine, Mary, who was my grandmother, Stacia, Michael, Ellen, Sarah and Robert, between 1905 and 1914. For some of the births, John is recorded as a stonemason. In 1911 census, we find the family living in a house in Mansellstown, Longford's Pass, County Tipperary, not too far from Clonmore. By all accounts, John enlisted in Templemore, County Tipperary, along with his brother-in-law, Robert Stapleton. John ended up in the Royal Irish Regiment and Robert in the Royal Dublin Fusiliers, and his serial number was 25622. Robert was killed on the 16th of October 1916, aged 27. The tragedy for this family is that while John's death was recorded as July 1916, the death of his wife Bridget is found on the 21st of June 1916, aged 32, from pulmonary tuberculosis. So that's 3.5 weeks before John died. This resulted in their children being left orphans, with the eldest aged just 11 and the youngest 2. John is one of the missing named on the Tepval Memorial, Pier and Face 3A. Robert is one of the missing named on the Ypres Men Gate Memorial, panel 44 and 46. And it's only in recent times during COVID-19 that we actually tracked down when and how Bridget died. We'd always presumed that she had survived John and was widowed. So it was a bit of a surprise to us to find out that she was actually dead before him, and the impact that had on the family. Now, the children, being so young when their parents died and when John died in the Battle of the Somme, they received pensions until the age of 19 and the age of 18. Thanks to Mary and Maher for pulling this account together for us. Here we see Bridget's registration of her birth. Her father was Robert Stapleton of Clonmore and her mother Mary Stapleton née Lidwell. She was born in January 1885. Here we see the marriage certificate for John Maher and Bridget Stapleton. They got married in 1904, and John's father, Michael Maher, was deceased at the time of the wedding, whereas Robert Stapleton, who was a labourer from Clonmore, was still alive. This is the 1911 census record for John and Bridget's family records. You can see that John and Bridget are both listed, Catherine, Mary, and their 2 sisters. In the heat of the hunt, we went looking for Bridget Stapleton's death records, and we thought she might have died from the flu in 1918-1919, but we found an even sadder truth. She had died in June 1916. This is the register of her death. She was in the hospital in Roscrea, and she died on June the 21st, 1916. She's down registered as a soldier's wife and married, and she died of TB. This then is the trench map from that summer of 1916 that was used in the Battle of the Somme. John died, and here you can see Bazentin-le-Petit at the bottom and Bazentin-le-Grand Wood, and above that Bazentin-le-Petit. We think John died in hand-to-hand fighting in Bazentin-le-Petit. There is a local military cemetery there, but John isn't listed on the headstones there. He's missing, so they don't know where they buried him. And he's listed on Tepval Memorial instead. Now, we've just found out now under COVID-19 that Bridget died here, in Roscrea Union Workhouse. At the time, it was sort of public health. That's what the workhouses were in 1916. You went there if you wanted medical care. Bridget had TB and she died. The red arrow indicates where we think she's buried. We don't know. And we've driven up and down that road so many times, and here, that's the site of the workhouse is gone now. There's a factory there. Forestry screens the back section, which I believe is the cemetery. And when COVID-19, if and when it passes us by, we're going to go and visit and remember Bridget there. Now, with Bridget dying young, her mother reared her 7 children: Catherine, Mary, Stacia, Michael, Ellen, and Sarah. Well, I'm saying 7. We seem to be missing one child, and it was kind of, there's this disagreement within the family historians. Mary there is my grandmother. I never met the lady. She died a couple of years after I was born.